Okay, we should be live. I'm just wanting to double check. Okay, what's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Cider Report back for another video. So, um, yeah, I just wanted just to kind of extend the thanks from yesterday, just to kind of say that like it was a little while since I did my last video, and we had some good chat going on in the comment section and stuff like that. And yeah, I just wanted just to kind of say that, thank you for coming back to the channel and for, being there and being good sports, etc., etc. Because I know it wasn't exactly the easiest, I guess, topic that I could have come back with, but there we go. So yeah, as I said, the last video that I did was before the US election. It was actually the day before. I think it was I think it was the day before we were expecting like results or like some results or something. Um yeah, like, just kind of to go back into that and to go back into, what we had been talking about and what we had been discussing. There's a video that I want to share as well, because as the title of the video suggests, baby Trump, he had a full-on fucking tantrum in the middle of the White House when he had fucking reporters over. So yeah, I think, without further ado, it's not a very long video, so I'm just going to play it through. I'm not going to stop and start it and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. It's supposed to be handy if I put the video on stream, wouldn't it? There we go.
Well, if they do, they made a mistake because this election was a fraud. Just so you understand, this election was a fraud. I mean, they have Biden beating Obama on Obama's vote in areas that mattered in terms of the election in swing states. And yet he's losing to Obama all over the place. But he's beating Obama in swing states, which are the states that mattered for purposes of the election. So, no, I can't say that at all. I think it's a possibility. They're trying to look between you people. Don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way. All right, I'm going to go with another question. Go ahead. Just so you, certainly I will. Certainly I will. And you know that. But I think that there will be a lot of things happening between now and the 20th of January. A lot of things. Massive fraud has been found. We're like a third world country. We're using computer equipment that can be hacked. They talk about glitches. How many glitches did they find? So a glitch. Oh, gee, we had a glitch, 5,000 votes. In all cases, right? In all cases, the votes went from Trump to Biden. They didn't go from Biden. The glitches were never from Biden to Trump. So they had many glitches. And they said, oh, we had a glitch. A glitch is like the equipment is a little broken. We'll fix it up. Now, a glitch is, in this case, we caught them cheating. We caught them stealing. We caught a fraudulent effort to get votes. And they said, oh, yes, it's true. There was, and there were many of them. But here's the problem. There were probably 10, 20, 30 times that didn't get caught. We just got lucky and caught numerous of them. But what that is very simple. If you look at the glitch means, right? It means, oh, we got caught with the votes. And now let's just call it a glitch. It wasn't the machinery. And by the way, the machinery, if you look, just take a look anywhere on the internet, you will see many, many people where they're experimenting with this stupid machinery, where if you set it a certain way, the votes go from Trump to Biden. If you look at these counties, if you look at Arizona, where I would
What?
very easily, I've had the biggest politicians in Arizona say there was no way you lost Arizona. There's no way I lost Pennsylvania with his anti fuel and with his anti fracking and all of the things that they stand against. There was no way. Now, Texas,
Okay, look, that's kind of basically it. Um, Mainly, kind of what we were going to be like. The vast majority of what we were going to be looking at was the start of that, right? Was uh, the fact that he was saying, oh, that like that oh, and don't ever talk to the president that way. And I'm the president of the United States, trying to flex his, like trying to kind of, yeah, just trying to flex, trying to be like, hey, like, this is who I am, etc., etc. I'm going to sneeze. I'm very sorry. Oh, fuck. Um, oh, God. Sorry. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, so like, but like, my kind of biggest thing, God, excuse me. My biggest thing is that, like, you will have supporters of his, right, that will say, oh, look at how strong he is, look at how strong and how assertive he is, about how he's controlling the room, how he's dominating the room. Like, if you look at that and you think to yourself that he is a guy who is in control and who is this like alpha male, you're not only lying to me, you're also lying to yourself. I don't care if you lie to me. Fuck it, I don't care if you lie to me. But what's worrying is that you're lying to yourself. I think you're knowingly lying to yourself. That's the kind of like the biggest kind of fuck up or whatever. But yeah, it's just like the fact, like, he literally had a full on tantrum, like a tantrum in the White House. And then, of course, he went off to talk about, oh, that like, oh, that there was massive voter fraud and there's this and there's that and there's no way that, that Biden got the numbers that he did, and etc., etc., etc. Well, let's look at a few of those and not just at the ones that Trump made just in that video, but also on the ones that other people have been making over the last couple of weeks, right? So let's kind of like go over a few of those, okay? So it's been said, oh, that Biden got more votes than Obama did, right? And oh, that like, how could this possibly have happened, right? Obama, he was the first black president. He had massive support. He had this, that, this, and that. And oh, like, oh my god, like, it was the biggest inauguration like ever, and it was this, and it was, and how could people possibly think that Biden got more votes than Obama did? Well, it's not. Yes, obviously, Obama becoming the first black president, it was a historic time. That was a historic moment. And, it meant so much, just the fact that only like 250 years before that, that somebody who had the same skin complexion as Obama did would have been in bondage is now the most powerful man in the world, not just in the obviously in the United States, yes, but also in the world. So like, about like what that kind of meant, so obviously, yes, that was a massive, massive, massive moment. And he had a lot of support and he had a lot of people behind him. And nobody is saying any differently. But here's the thing, and here's what people and here's what like really kind of I kind of feel needs to be just mentioned a little bit more, is that there was two-time Obama voters who switched to Trump. And there was people who hated Hillary Clinton, who were lifelong Democrats, people who they were in the center, but they kind of voted for Republicans and for Democrats, and they kind of, they flip-flopped and they went back and forth. Who, as soon as they found out that it was Hillary Clinton, they immediately went to Trump because they just don't like Hillary. And that is a sentiment that I fully fucking understand and support. She is a detestable human being. She is still to this day not accepting her own colossal failures as to why she lost the presidency to a fucking miserable excuse of a businessman who is a fucking failed reality show TV star. I use in the loosest possible terms. All Trump has ever been fucking good at is just slapping his name onto buildings or onto pre-existing things. He had fucking Trump vodka, Trump hotels, Trump steak. He just slaps his name onto things and then somehow makes a some barely success out of it. We know that he's a con man. We know that he was all of this, and this was all publicly available and widely known before the 2016 election, and yet Trump still won. And Hillary is still to this day not accepting her own part of the blame as to why Trump won. Now, that's all well and good, right? And that would be all kind of well and good, and that would be kind of, okay and understandable and everything else, right? If it weren't for the fact that if that would be okay if Trump had turned out all right, but the problem obviously is that Trump turned out to be the president that he was for the last 4 years. Now, Trump has been saying, Trump said back in 2016 that he won in a landslide. So let's just look. Let's just look at what his election results were. Let's just look at what they were. So it was 306 to 332 to Hillary, right? You need 270 to win, obviously, and Trump got 306. Okay? Trump got 306. So if we now go over to what this year's election results is, and it is 306 to 332. Now, Trump described his win. He described his win in 2016 as a landslide victory. Now, if Trump got 306 to 332, and that was a landslide victory, and that's the same score this time, this election, except that 306 was to Biden and 332 was to Trump, then surely Trump would say that he lost by a landslide, or that Biden won by a landslide. Because if that was his criteria for 2016, why would that change? What reason would there be for that to change for this time? And it's kind of, manifested itself in this, and it's not just Trump. It's, there's so many. I mean, so many. You want to go down the list. You have Candace Owens, you have Charlie Kirk, you have Caitlin Bennett, fucking, Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm sure I haven't actually looked at anything from JLP in the last little while, but I'm sure that he's there. He's on the list at least. You've a lot of people over on Fox News, you've people on One American News Network, you've all of these people, and they are heavily, and I mean heavily, not just addicted to, but constantly, apart from when they're asleep, constantly hooked up on copium. That's what the kind of term has kind of become in the last little while anyway. Because they just cannot cope with the fact that Daddy Trump lost. They just can't accept it. You heard him in the tail end of that video where he was talking about, that he's had senators, he's had politicians come up to him and say, "Sir, there's no way that you lost this state and that's and that state because Joe was talking about being anti-fracking and this and that, and there's no way that you lost, sir." And there you go, he turned around and he lost anyway. And the point of all this, I guess, and the point of what I'm saying and why I'm saying it is that they cannot deal with how much they have been berating Biden. Sorry, I'm just going to turn my camera because I'm not. It's only ever so slightly, and it's not even to flex the fact that I have it. Where is it? Where is it? The, the, there. It's not even to flex the fact that I have a PS5 in the background. It's just because I wasn't center and it was annoying me. What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's not even the fact that like any of these people have been kind of, it's because they have been so heavily attacking Biden for the last couple of years, right? For the last, well, no, not even for the last couple of years, for the last 18 months or so, right? Ever since he kind of announced that he was running for president, right? And all throughout the primary debates, they were constantly attacking him, constantly, because the mainstream media convinced themselves and then tried to convince the populace that Biden was going to win the primaries, which of course he did. Now it was on. Now there was a lot of smoke-filled backroom deals and a lot of conspiring and a lot of very strategic planned dropping out of other Democratic nominee candidates that ultimately led to Biden winning. So it was somewhat little bit dodgy there, but you know it is what it is, and Biden ended up winning. But the point is that for all of the debates, and even coming up to all of the debates, they were kind of going, "Oh my god, this is going to be fucking hilarious. This is going to be absolutely hilarious. You're going to have Trump, the fucking alpha male that he is, and he's going to be just pounding down on Biden, who can't, like, who gets halfway through a sentence before he forgets where he is and stumbles." Um, and yeah, it didn't really kind of turn out that way. Look, I didn't have any sort of expectations as to how good Biden was going to do, but he actually did all right. He didn't do brilliantly, not by any stretch, but he did okay. And there was a lot of moments there where he just did a really good job, and yeah, it just kind of, I don't know, it just he did okay. But the point is that why they're so angry and why they were so fucking pissed off and so annoyed is that when when they would do, like, when they would go and when they would, talk about Biden and the fact that, like, oh, he's this and he's that, and yet now they have to admit, they don't want to admit that the guy that they've spent the last year berating lost to the guy that they are claiming is the fucking, like, I don't know, the champion or whatever, like, whatever the fuck. Their alpha male fucking, super, like, grossly tanned, morbidly obese daddy lost to a guy who can barely string a fucking sentence together. Now, look, I said this, in 2016, that, I mean, genuinely, if this is, the two people, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, these are the two best people to represent the two-party system, that they, like, these are the best that we could do, then then the United States was probably, fucking doomed if that's the best two candidates that they could do. But then, I mean, the fact that it was fucking Biden and Trump, Jesus Christ, it didn't exactly seem to be much better. But the levels of copium is just, oh my god. Like, you have people who, like, say, oh, that the election isn't over until December 14th, I think it is. That's when the Electoral College kind of, says, oh, that like this is who has actually won and stuff like that. But look, I mean, like they've like Biden literally won by the same margin that Trump did. So there's nothing to say that he's not the president elect. Like he is the president elect. Biden is the president elect. Um and so it's just like I don't even know, man. And it's like the fact that like people like consider Trump to just be this like alpha dog and like this big guy, and um it's just I don't know. I'm just looking at the comments there. If anybody wants to join, if anybody can join in, just say so down in the comments, and I'll post the link. And you can join in. I'll put the link in, and you can come in, and we can have a conversation and stuff like that. But so yeah, and that goes to everybody. Um, so yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just like the fact that Trump goes out and he's like he feels the need to make fun of other people. He feels the need to, belittle and to put down other people in order so that he can feel big, right? And so that he can feel like the biggest and the best and the smartest person in the room, right? The fact that like even like what was it? Like I don't think it was in the I don't think it was in the debate, or maybe it was, but he kind of repeated the line to some reporter where he was like, "Don't use the word smart with me," or something like that. I'm pretty sure that was actually in the debate. The point is that the fact that he has to put people down in order to like make sure that other people kind of don't feel as big as he does, right? Or that like he gets to somehow feel like the biggest person in the room. Like the fact that that's kind of like, oh god, I don't know. I don't know, man. It just it annoys me massively. Sorry, I'm just gonna anyone want to. So yeah, look, it's just I don't know, like, but like this kind of says an awful lot about the types of people who this kind of it says a lot about the type of people who support Trump, and it says a lot about them and about their ego and about their kind of you know um and about the types of people that they are, that they look at somebody who constantly belittles, who makes fun of people, who mocks people, uh who like does all of these things as like an alpha, or as like a big person, or whatever. um it definitely says a lot about them. And yeah, Mama Atheist, oh god, Human transfer office. So thanks, Brainbug. Um, so yeah, it's just as Mama Atheist has asked me to do. Yeah, so he ordered a recount in Georgia. He spent $3 million on it, and he got more votes for Biden. I just found that fucking hilarious. You literally spent $3 million, $3 fucking million you spent, and you got more votes for your opponent. Fucking hilarious. It's just so funny. It's literally like, I don't know. It's like it would be like if like Pepsi did this like whole thing. I'm pretty sure they have done something like this. This is not just something that's just in my head. That like they kind of like build this stall and this blind taste test to try and prove that Pepsi tastes better than Coke, and yet 98% of the fucking respondents say that Coke tastes better. So they basically just fucking did this to be advertisements for Coke. Like the point is he did all this. $3 million he spent to try and like get more votes for him in order to flip Georgia so that he has a better chance of winning re-election. And then yet he fucking he got more votes. He widened the gap. But it's just like, you know, the $3 million thing is just like, okay, think about how much stuff that could have been like how much more wisely that could have been spent, right? Like, you know, I know that like people kind of forget about this. I personally think I kind of forget about it like from time to time because it's just been going on for so fucking long. Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water, and he spent $3 million trying to overturn a fucking one state, one single state. And he spent all this money trying to overturn it, and Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. Think about, okay, I'm not saying that $3 million would have solved that issues, but it would have fucking helped, right? It would have, you know, it would have been like the down payment and, you know, just looking for the rest of it. The point is that he could have done so much more with this. He could have done so much more with that money. You know, he like, I don't know, giving it to a fucking homeless shelter, a fucking food bank, a like any of these things that he could have done that with. $3 million to any of these places, it would have been so fucking much. It would have been so much more beneficial had he have done that. And yet he he literally just threw it away. He might as well have just he might as well have just taken out $3 million and put it on a fucking desk, you know, sprinkled it in fucking alcohol or in like lighter fluid of some description, and then threw a match to it. That's basically what he did. He just threw it away. Like he just burned that money, and for nothing. You know, well, for nothing for him anyway. You know, he was obviously expecting the kind of the result of, oh, you know, if I do this, then I'll get like this kind of return out of it, and you know, like it'll be this and that, and it'll be, oh my god, it'll be so much better than this and that. And then yeah, he just gave what like I think chat can kind of fact check me. What was it like 16,000 more votes for Biden? I think it was. But the point is, it was so much like there was just so much more that he could have done with that money, and he just didn't. And I'm kind of happy that it happened to him, because anytime to me that Trump fails is not only hugely entertaining, but is, I don't know, you get to kind of you get to poke conservatives with it, and that I just that will never not be entertaining to me. Um, you know, there's a few ways that you can, you know, because like people like they like say, oh, that like Trump is like the fucking, like he's the biggest, he's the baddest, he's the greatest, he's this and that and the other thing. And you know, as soon as you kind of like start kind of like saying like objectively true things about Trump, they lose their shit. They absolutely lose their shit. They um whoa, what is this? The EPA now allows more dumping in the waterways upstream of Flint, Michigan, than these was before Trump took office. But the water is so bad they only make a negligible difference. Jesus fucking Christ! Yeah, it's just like, oh god, you miss Lucas Head. How can you? Well, it is. Where is it? It is like, I'm not like, you know, like if you want a sponsorship, by the way, I like every single stream that I do that I'm in, I'm drinking it. So, you know, if you want a sponsorship, just, you know, hit me up. I'll get that sweet ad money. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of my I'm like mildly addicted to it at this point. I say mildly as if I don't have like 6 bottles of this in my fridge. But was that an overshare? I feel like that was an overshare. anyway, the biggest way to kind of, you know, like trigger conservatives, trigger people who support Trump is, you know, like to point out the fact that whereas they personally may not be, they are okay with racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, inequality, just in general. It's not gross. It's just unhealthy. So where was I? I lost my train. Oh yeah, yeah. That they are like racist, sexist, homophobic, like all of these things. That like whereas they personally might not be, that they are okay with all of those things because that's the lines or like those are the avenues that Republicans and that conservatives go down when they are casting votes. You know, if they can cast a vote that is going to ultimately harm people who are, you know, uh of a different, that are of a different race than well than white, really, um that are, that are gay, lesbian, bisexual, that are transgender, that are like just women, just in general. They're going to be set like they're going to vote down along these lines. And so even if they personally are not, that they're okay with those types of things being enacted into law because because that's what conservatives vote for. And if you don't like that, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just fucking true. And you should maybe listen to somebody that I reacted to yesterday, being Ben Shapipi, and listen to his most famous phrase of "facts don't care about your feelings." Like, I don't care that you don't like that. That's true. It is true. So sorry, cope a little bit harder. I genuinely, yeah, I don't really kind of think that I have like that much more to kind of say about Trump, about like the other kind of, yeah, I genuinely don't know. It was just like that was just a super 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 funny video that I had to react to. um so, but I'm having just a full on fucking tantrum meltdown in the White House. Um, so yeah, so look, I'm gonna do the same as I did yesterday. I might make this like a theme for when I'm doing videos on my own. Obviously, that if I'm doing like a podcast or something, it'll just be completely open. Um, if anybody is watching, if anybody is in the comment section, if anybody is wherever and they disagree with anything that I have said, or you want to come in and just put in your 2 cents, if you want to, just share a thought, your opinion, whatever, let me know. Genuinely, just say that you want to, like, say so in the comments, and I'll throw the link down, and we'll just kind of go from there. I'll leave it open for, I don't know, what is it, like a minute or so, and just kind of go from there then. But yeah, even still, I that I had said that this was going to be a shorter one. I've still been going for half an hour, so so yeah, I there was a few people, I'm sure, that are wondering, why I kind of why I took a little bit of a hiatus away from YouTube, and it's not even really my longest one. It was just because I kind of mentioned it. Because I think like the biggest gap that I've taken from YouTube was like, I don't know, like, or like gap between uploads was like 2 months or something like that, and that's literally just because I had no fucking time. Um, so yeah, so I like this one, I think was only like a month or so between uploads or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, um, it's probably something that I will cover in like an upcoming in and in I'm completely brain farting right now. It's something that I will cover in a video. I'll do it completely standalone, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it, to be totally honest. But basically, like I've had things like depression and stuff like that since I was like, I don't know, like 11 or 12 or something like that, like ridiculously fucking young. And it just kind of flares up every kind of now and again, and it hasn't been really really bad in quite a long time. But yeah, no, like definitely in the last little while, it's just been kind of, it's been pretty bad. So yeah, like that's kind of basically why. That's like the snapshot version. That's the very 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 quick version of why. So yeah, that it'll definitely be something that I will cover in a video. I just don't know when it'll be, to be totally honest with you. I have like my schedule done now for this week. I'm going to be uploading, I think it's Monday that I have it scheduled for. It's Monday or Tuesday next week. That'll be my next video because I have a rake of assignments for college and stuff to do, and then I'm working on the weekends. So yeah, okay. I think I've kind of left it, open long enough that people would have kind of heard that I was taking, comments, questions, queries, challenges, etc. from the audience, and nobody is bitten the bullet and wanted to jump in. So unless somebody has joined just now and want to, so yeah, look, I hope that you guys kind of like, share this out and get like get people in here who would like normally disagree with something that I have to say, because I don't want this to be an echo chamber. I want this to be like a free exchange of ideas and of, healthy kind of competition, and of you know, a place where you can dialogue about ideas and stuff like that. I'm a socialist, so I'm pretty left. So that's kind of that's kind of where everybody kind of can place somebody. So like anybody who is like centrist, anybody who is right leaning at all, anybody who is like left but not like the little bit left of center, like those like anybody that's like marginally towards the right than me, fuck it, bring them on. I'll talk to them. So man is way too stoned, right? Well, that's I'm jealous. What can I say? I'm jealous. Um it's not something you and I are pretty echo chamber. Yeah, I think we are. I think we are, Amanda. But it's just kind of, I'm sure, look, I'm sure if we explored, if we kind of dug around, if we, like really kind of sat down and talked for a little while, you know, it would probably, we'd probably find something that we disagree on. So just to kind of go up, like one topic that we might actually disagree on, and I'm gonna try and check what date it is. Where was I going? Oh yeah, date. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? So we're going for the 14th. Is my next? That's my calculator, not my calendar. The 14th, which is next Monday. So next Monday, I will be doing a video on toxic femininity. I'll be talking about toxic masculinity for like, so I kind of said it in like, just for kind of argument's sake or for reference sake, if that ends up being a 10-minute video, which it will not, it will be much, much, much longer than that. But let's just say that it did end up being 10 minutes. I'll be talking about toxic masculinity for like 2 minutes of that 10-minute video. So I'll be talking about it, like a little bit, and I'll like mention it and stuff like that, because I feel like it needs to be mentioned. But yeah, it's just going to be on toxic femininity, and because I think that it's a real thing, and it's not something that people kind of talk about, and I it's something that I kind of think gets overlooked and kind of doesn't really kind of get, the audience or the recognition that it needs or something. So yeah, anyway, that will be next Monday. Until then, cider and pour out. I just want to say thank you so much again to everybody who came along, everybody who has been commenting along. It's funny, it's fun. And yeah, you guys make doing YouTube fun, So if we wanted to find out what we just agree on, I don't. This is this is going to sound almost blasphemous coming from an Irish person. I don't drink either tea or coffee. So yeah, It's probably the only two things that contain caffeine that I don't drink. But yeah, so I don't drink either, Amanda. I don't drink either. On that note, I'm sure she's gonna have some feelings about that. But on that note, until Monday, um, that is all from yeah. So until Monday.